The third part of the 4H framework is called headline. Headline is like the front page of a newspaper. It's that first sentence or first 4 to 7 words that get your paper picked up off the shelf and the others left behind. In your case, it's the opener to your presentation. It's what's meant to capture your audience's attention, captivate them, and make them so they want to keep listening. An excellent headline will not only capture an audience's attention, but it will also key them in to what you'll be speaking about through the rest of your talk. Have you ever seen a TV show or podcast and the very beginning, the first 30 seconds, let's say, was snippets of the podcast to follow, the highlights, the best and most interesting bits? They're using the exact same strategy of headline here. They're showing you a few things to get you interested so you listen to the rest of it. As I said, really great headlines capture an audience's attention and gives them an idea of what you'll be talking about through the rest of your talk. Now, let's see some professional examples and find the ways that they use headline in order to capture their audience's attention.
So imagine a big explosion as you climb through 3,000 feet. Imagine a plane full of smoke. Imagine an engine going clack, 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 clack. Sounds scary. Well, I had a unique seat that day. I was sitting in 1D. I was the only one who could talk to the flight attendants.
Wow, that was quite an intro. What made that introduction so effective? It was about a plane crash. It was suspenseful. It was dramatic. This gentleman got up there and described a plane crash to us. Oh, and then he dropped in the phrase, "I had an interesting seat that day." What do you mean? You were there? How did you make it? Tons of questions start flooding our head, and we want to know more. Storytelling is an extraordinarily effective way to not only capture your audience's attention with a great opener, but it also keeps them engaged throughout the rest of your presentation. If you have a story to tell it. That's what I would encourage you. Whether it's a project, business idea, or just something else you're working on, if you can tell an audience that story, not only does it strongly open your presentation and capture their attention, but it also makes it feel more connected. Remember that heart piece we discussed earlier. Let's take a look at our second example.
All right, I want to see a show of hands. How many of you have unfriended someone on Facebook because they said something offensive about politics or religion, childcare, food? And how many of you know at least one person that you avoid because you just don't want to talk to them? You know, it used to be that in order to have a polite conversation, we just had to follow the advice of Henry Higgins in My Fair Lady, stick to the weather and your health. But these days, with climate change and anti-vaxxing, those subjects are not safe either.
What strategy did our presenter use in the last example? It was simple, but effective. She opened her presentation with 2 questions. Questions are an easy way to engage your audience right away and not allow them the time to tune you out or get distracted. In addition, she also made her questions relatable and a little humorous for her audience. That engaged the heart portion that we talked about in the last section. Now take some time to create a few options that you can use as headlines. Feel free to get creative with these. Try one that's a story. Try one that's a question. There's no right or wrong answer here. How do you want to engage your audience right away?